Good evening and welcome to another edition of your favorite program, Sports Wrap. I am Lockett Sebastian and together with me is
Ron Lander
and
Emmanuel Black.
Right, and for the next 2 hours we will bring you information on cricket. We will have Liam Sebastian, the second vice president of the DCA, who will be in studio with us, and we will be joined by Clement Master, the president, and they will be telling us about the recently concluded T10. We're also going to have Cedric Harris for a few minutes. He'll be telling us about some meet he has this weekend in honor of Brian Packett, who died a few years ago. We're also going to have the PRO of the Dominica Football Association, who will spend some time with us and tell us about what happened this year, the successes, and what they plan to do next year. We'll also be going to be talking about 2 test matches. One was completed this morning, Ronald Lobby. One, and then there's an interesting one continuing to the next hour and a half. Pakistan and Australia. It's a nice test match going on there.
And the surprise defeat of India.
Yeah. So we will have 2 hours of real sports. We'll be joined by Dr. Fountain in a while, who will join us. So we're going to be busy for the next 2 hours. And in a while, as I say, Liam will join us and Clement about 6:30. So guys, I guess you all had a good Christmas, Ronald Lobby?
Well, I don't know what you call good. This what remains that I'm alive and well with my God. That's the most important thing. I'm looking forward to a new year with more health. That's most important.
That's the most important thing, Lobby, the health. I mean, Thomas Baptist used to say in the gardens, when he had his forum, this is Thomas Baptist. He always had his big forum. Well, Lobby, he used to be there when he would sit down and have about 20 people.
Sebo, I'm coming a while.
Yeah, Ronald. So what about you, Ronald? You had a quiet Christmas?
Very quiet, very quiet.
Yeah. But from what you saw, you think most people had a good Christmas, Ronald?
I don't think so. The economic activity was very low.
I understand. Well, I was not wrong town country, but I understood even Christmas Eve, there wasn't much activity. In fact, Suki, Robert Winston was telling me, on Saturday, Sunday, he was down by his place in Kinfield. So he called his mom and told him, well, he'll be late because he suspected traffic would have been heavy. He told me, just drop to town, you leave no traffic. So it tells you that things are not very... Let's say welcome to Dr. Fountain, who has just joined us. Good night, Dr. Fountain.
Yes, good night and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, well, I guess you were in the country, were you?
Yeah, I just drove.
But for Christmas, right?
Yes.
Well, you know what we all grew up, Ronald, that was so bad. Not like us, we'll be in the country.
Countryside. But it was dead, D-E-A-D, dead and dread.
Well, on Christmas night, I drove around in the village about 6, 7 o'clock, and to be I thought nobody in the village.
Yeah.
Not serious. And normally call you be buzzing and there's nobody.
Yeah,
everybody.
The same thing happened. And even the usual suspects who would normally go up the road.
Yeah.
They did not pass. And
Well, I'm surprised that you saying that. I tell you, I came down the village Monday night and I said, well, what is going on here?
Yeah, no, it was
everybody indoors and it tells you normally you have music playing guys hanging out.
Yes,
I didn't see that at all.
And even the drinks flowing and even that,
And that tells you where we are in Dominica, the people who boast, things are good for them, a few of them.
Yeah.
A few of them.
That's the worst I've seen. Worst by far the worst I've seen.
Yeah.
What a shame.
And Thompson, bring me to this thing. I mean, you're the finance man also, Ronald. Explain to me what is going to happen tomorrow, Thompson. You're the finance, both of you all. What's going to happen with this? Is the government going to a co-maker? In simple language, is that what's going to happen?
You know, it's very strange because you would expect that these companies, if they're going to offer that type of service, or that they would get local, that they would source their own financing. But when you have a government to guarantee your liabilities, I mean, that should not be. A government should not be guaranteeing the liabilities of private companies. Nowhere else is that done. You guarantee the liabilities of parastatals like SEMI. For example, the government can guarantee the liability of Social Security because it's part government. But this is a wholly owned private enterprise. It's like government guaranteeing the liabilities of we churches or Astafans. You just don't do that as a government. So that to me is unbelievable.
And to have an emergency meeting of cabinet.
Yeah. What is the emergency?
Yeah,
so when they contracted the company, they did not know the company had no money. You did not do your due diligence before you sign on the dotted line. Wasn't there an agreement that the company would bring the money in and then get the monies and then they bill and then transfer? I think it was on the BOT agreement. You build, you operate, and then you transfer to the government after 20 or so years. It is more than passing strange, and you wonder what is going on, really.
But because
what really is
I have
happening?
to ask you, because you hear this company. You never heard before that they were going to meet with these people. You don't say out of the blue about the
yes.
company, and then you hear
In
you go to
Dubai.
start. I mean, this to me is
And in Dubai, and Dubai has a lot of fly-by-night companies because that's where that is center of attraction.
Right.
So you have a lot of fly-by-night companies, and it seems that these guys made these guys on the margins of the Copa conference there and just sign them up. And now they're saying, well, we have no money. You have to give us the money, and what was going to guarantee all of our liabilities? So if, for example, there is some environmental disaster there, and the government and the company has to pay, then that is the government's. That will be in the government's tab. It is.
No, I
don't know how the government operates. I don't understand
it. Happen all the time in Dominica. You hear strange things. People in the country do not know and what is happening. And you hear. I mean, we have a caller. Let's probably take this caller. Maybe caller want to win.
Take the caller. Yes.
Yes.
All right. The caller wants to win. All right.
Good evening, caller.
Good evening, gentlemen. How you doing? Compliments to everybody.
Thank you.
Mr. Fountain, you an economist. You know how to deal with finances. Can you tell us, as an economist, what impact that's going to have on the bank?
That's
an
excellent.
Of Dominica, that please.
That is an excellent question.
Because for you to take a loan to front load of foreign company in the bank, all the merchants in Dominica right now should be outside the parliament tomorrow, close the damn business and outside parliament and tell Mr. Nowhere, no can do, that shouldn't happen.
Yes.
But to cool the bank.
Absolutely.
Help us. You both have a good night.
Thank you, darling.
Yes, and Lublu is correct. That is going to have a huge impact on the private sector because it's what they call crowding out. All the local firms that would normally get a little overdraft and little financing of the businesses, they no longer have access. That's a huge chunk of the bank's asset base going towards it.
Million.
Yeah. It's a huge amount in the scheme of things for Dominica. And so not only is it adding to our national debt, but it's also adding to the burden on the commercial banking system, which, by the way, is very thin and is already under a lot of problems. And it is really on the, it's really on shaky ground. So that makes it even worse. The condition of the bank makes it even worse. And I mean, what kind of government is this?
Yes, Robbie.
You call that resetting the economy.
Well, this is what the words they use, Robbie. This is what they will use when they had this. It was this year or late last year. These were the words they were using.
But you cannot run a country in this Vicky manner. This.
It's crazy.
Are we taking?
Another caller.
We have another caller.
Robbie made me laugh. Good night.
Good night, Shibu.
Hi, good night.
Happy New Year to you, and your family.
Dodol, good night. Well, Ronald is there. Yes.
Good night, Dodol.
And Robbie.
Good night.
Yeah.
Happy New Year to Mr. Luis and family. Logla.
Good night.
Dr. Fountain.
Yes, good evening.
So everything good evening, my brother.
Good night, good night, good night,
Donald, everything all right with you?
Well doing.
Are you okay? We okay. What about you? What about you?
Charles, I am I doing it good, you know.
Right.
I'm
That's
having
it.
a good day. Well, I'm there. I tried to call last week. I didn't get you all.
Okay, when you got us now, so that's good. We're hearing you.
Yeah,
And we hear you.
when you go by this service came by regards to him, probably please let me stop you.
I will do that. I will do that tomorrow.
And every same one. Don't forget that.
Havis is looking in very good form. I can tell you that. In fact, when I went by Havis,
So how you doing?
good. Let me tell you about Havis. Havis
Okay,
had his stamp on his
I look forward to the best of you, man. How you like there?
Thank you, man. Well
How you
done.
like there? How you like just boy? How you like there?
Thank you, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Before we go back, I'll tell you about Havis. I went by Havis, and Havis had the stamp like a teenager. So when I said, Sentence, you want to start rowing carnival again? But why Havis look everything
It looks
good.
good.
Yeah, Havis
Excellent.
look good.
Yes, very happy to hear.
Havis is all right. Havis, very good, very good. Lobby, I'm sure you'll be happy to hear that. In
Oh,
fact,
as usual. As
The man
usual.
to my left, that's his godfather, you know.
My power.
That is power. Davis is power. The guy to my left there. So what Davis? But going back to this thing, Thompson. But again, and people do this thing and they think it's all right. You go in parliament, obviously, you have the majority, you do your nonsense and put people at risk because these people come there, they do their thing, they are not to worry about. If things don't work, they collect their
Yeah,
money.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you wonder, you wonder now whether this company is a bona fide company
Mhm.
and whether there's local interest in this company as well. These are the
Mhm.
questions you must ask, because it does not seem to me that this is any established company with any kind of track record, just based on the fact that they come into the government for money to do that project. Man, this is crazy, Sibo. This is
Gentlemen,
Go ahead, Globy.
Let me hold on. After
Yeah,
Ronald,
yeah.
hold on. Yeah.
It has been stated that close to 300 million has already been spent on the project. And then the government is going to guarantee 14.5 million. Is that saying indirectly that the rest of the project will cost 14.5 million?
well, no, the loan, my understanding is that the loan is 13.5 million, which is obviously guaranteed. But in addition to that, they're guaranteeing whatever liabilities incurred in addition to this 13.5 million.
We'll hear from Parliament tomorrow because
Yeah.
based on what I have read, I've understood that OMAT Technologies is a US-based entity and they were going to finance, they're going to build and operate the geothermal project
Yes,
for 25 years
Right.
and pass over the government.
exactly.
And I was wondering if you're going to finance, why should government be guaranteeing
Yeah,
an amount of 14.5 million for you?
yeah, exactly.
You know,
exactly.
You see, this project, we have a fundamental problem in Dominica. We do not have an integrated development plan. And because of that, on a year-by-year basis, we continue doing things. Where they're doing the project is our tourism heartland. That's our main tourism attraction area. So what are you going to say? When you build a geothermal project there, you're going to compromise your tourism heartland? Is there anywhere else we could have done that project? Or there are other sustainable development projects that we could have done like solar, hydro, wind? So we need that. The guys in government know if you cannot do an integrated development plan, there are some of us that can help you. We need to have a plan for Dominica. The business of going a year by year, every year you come to the budget, and do how many things at the same time. You're building a new airport, at the same time you're extending Melville Hall. You're building an airport with no plans, no design.
No EIA. Is there an EIA? Has that been done?
It's critical.
Yeah, let's take this caller. Good night. Oh, no, we don't.
We've
Yes,
lost the caller.
yeah, so you're right, Ronald. So in a 55 man, guys just get up and it's okay. Well, let's do that. We go to COP 20, whatever it was, and meet some guys and decide, well, boy, that guy can come and no, you don't know what's behind all those things.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't know what's
It
behind all
raises
those
a
things.
lot of questions.
Yeah.
Are there local interests in this company? People getting the cut on the side. These are legitimate questions that I wish would be raised in Parliament tomorrow. Let us open up. What
Yeah,
really is this
gentlemen,
company? Who are the
gentlemen.
owners? Who are the beneficial owners of this company? We need to know that.
Yeah, Lobby, go ahead.
First of all, Fountain, first of all, there just does be an eye tomorrow. But I have something, look at a different tangent, gentlemen. this project, gentlemen, we are in a volatile area. We saw it happen in Montserrat, how Plymouth disappeared. We are surrounded by so many volcanoes. We do not know what. There are countries that have paid a price for mining. For ABC, they have paid a serious price. We don't know what may happen down the road. We're in a volatile area.
Yeah, and it's a good concern, Lobby, because Iceland, that's
Well,
the
they don't have
leader in this area. They've been
Last
having
week.
quite a lot of earthquake activities,
Yes.
and you don't know if that is related to it. They've had volcanoes erupt there. All right, we have a caller.
Good night. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, guys. Dr. Fountain, I know there might not be a solution of that now, but what do you think is the best thing we can do as a quick solution for tomorrow?
As a quick solution for tomorrow. Look,
I don't understand what you mean. I don't. The question of solution for tomorrow. I mean, the parliament tomorrow. The people are going to pass the bill. I don't know what you expect you to do.
Yeah.
At this late stage. I mean, you see, the thing that Dominican people must start was wake up. Well, if they have been asleep for too long, people must wake up. And the problem is too many people probably don't even know what's going on in Dominica. That's the other thing.
And we should not have a cash flow problem now in Dominica.
Because of
We've got over
CBI.
over $6 billion
yes.
cannot be accounted for. Where it has gone to? We should not be taking any loans now to do any activities in Dominica.
I know.
Yes.
Let's take this caller. Good night, caller.
Something I hope tomorrow, the questions you just put forward there, I hope tomorrow, if some of the members of the opposition listen to you, I hope tomorrow when they bring up these questions in Parliament, knowing that Isaac is a economist himself.
He's an engineer. He's an engineer.
He's an engineer, doesn't he economics?
No.
Oh,
I think he did an MBA.
Who's that?
Isaac.
Oh, Joseph Isaac. Okay.
Well, he's an engineer. Substantially, he's an engineer.
Because what is going on in Parliament tomorrow is not to his detrimental kind of. So I hope he will be able to just let the people ask the question they're supposed to be asking in Parliament tomorrow. Bye.
All right, thank you. We have some more callers.
Good evening.
All right, we
Good
love
evening.
this caller. Let's go to this other line. All right.
Hello, good
Okay.
night.
All right, the call is gone.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. In Dominica, too many people just don't know what's happening in the country. Too many people. You over the Christmas, you take one time and call you. I hear they're going to have some dinner for the elderly. So that's how they fool the people. This kind of thing.
Yes. But importantly, if the government is going to guarantee those liabilities for the company, they need to know everything about the company. They need to know who the owners are, especially beneficial owners, not those fronting for the company, but who ultimately the owners, who own this company, this or take a business or whatever it's called. That's very important because after all, it's going to be the people of Dominica, and the people of Dominica need to know about this company's history and everything about it before guaranteeing this loan.
But Fountain, gentlemen, I mean, you're asking about question who owned. You have people selling passports. We don't even know who are who are the sellers. We don't know how many people own our passports. We don't know.
But hold on, we have another caller. Good night. Hello.
Good night, fellas. How y'all doing?
We're very good.
Doing good.
Good. And I know Ozzy's listening. Good night, Ozzy. I just want to holler at you, man. Hey, people.
Yes.
To you and the crew in there, especially my boy Thompson. Thompson,
Yeah, how you doing?
you remember Zampoli?
Oh yes.
Zandoni.
Okay. You remember the guy in the hotel?
Yes. And he got his.
Okay. You know what my belief is? It's another scheme, a scam to defraud the country. Everybody getting paid except Dominica and its citizens.
Yes.
And my brother, wish you the best. And you take care of yourself. We're looking forward to you to do something for Dominica when you come over back to the Eastern Caribbean. Take care of yourself. Tell us a month.
All right, bro. Thank
So
you.
the point I wanted to make about this thing now, I'm sure most people didn't know until I heard Leonard Clinton send out that voice note today. Nobody knew about that thing.
No, it
Eh?
was completely
a secret,
a secret,
like
yeah.
not on the news at all.
Emergency
Nobody knows an
session.
emergency session, and nobody knows. It didn't even come on the national station
Yeah.
to tell us. Well, Parliament meeting today. Look at what they're going to be
Yes,
debating,
but-
like in a big secret.
But also, why the emergency session of Parliament?
Mm.
Why not a regular session? Why not do it for 2 weeks from now or a
Yeah.
week from now? What is the emergency,
urgency of the
or
thing.
the urgency
Yeah, the thing.
of this?
Like probably they did the morning show quick. I mean, the
to do
company
what?
Probably I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know.
Boy,
We had the
boy.
urgency, no, like in the secret. Nobody knew about that. Nobody knows.
And you know the sad part about this, after all is said and done, we may not even have geothermal energy generation. You know,
Mhm.
I would
Because we
not, I
heard
would
about
not be
2025
surprised if we will not even get anything out of this.
of
thing.
that.
You have to spend how much money already on the project? You spend so much
But
money.
somebody like Afi Martin, maybe he can give us a call. He's a guy who spoke about, who have been speaking about that for a long, long time. And then, man, I tell you, secret.
It's so unfortunate that because of the poor management of the country, we're going to see negative economic and social indicators.
Mm.
You're going to see more and more of that. Look at our police service. The commissioner is going to go on pre-retirement leave from January 1st. What's the date of today?
Today, well, January 1st on Monday, no.
And there is nobody has been identified to be the next commissioner.
But they probably can't find one. You're right. But you know, under the constitution, the prime minister of the country, whoever he is, supposed to be meeting the leader of the opposition. Has that been done? Has that been done at all? So what you might just hear on Monday when the guy goes on leave, so and so is acting or whatever. That's what you might just hear with no consultation, nothing, and that's what happens all the time, Ronald. And you're making a good point. Monday, January 1st.
But I can tell you there is a lot of dissatisfaction
In the police
and
force.
within the Dominican public.
Probably, yeah.
Oh man,
Mhm.
lots of frustration.
Plenty people, you hear them
Lots
talk.
and lots
People
of
that are afraid
frustration.
to talk to
People
but
are
a lot
extremely
of people,
frustrated.
when you speak to
With
them
them
one-on-one,
extreme frustration.
yeah, people are frustrated.
Yeah.
No. In fact, I'll tell you what, Thompson, talking to, I wouldn't call names or even give a good friend of mine who was telling me, I mean, about even this NEP. And I say, the NEP, I have no issue with people getting a little dollar and so on. But how do you tell people you must pay people to look after their parents? Pay. Now, the people that are doing that should be telling the young people now, it's your duty to take care of your parents because they took care of you.
Mhm.
And when you're paying people to take care of them, and the people not even doing it, he's a good friend of mine tell me, you have to go all in the east over the weekend because they're paying somebody and the person not doing it. And man, I tell you, boy, in this
Wow.
place, yeah, how do you pay somebody to take care of their own mother? Eh? That is a sin to me to do that, using the state's money. I'd like to say NEP, I have no issue with people trying to make a dollar, but this NEP thing, I don't know if it's a genuine stuff at all, honestly.
Wow.
Yes. Do you want me to cover? I don't know. Well, I guess we have to take a break just now because we're going to have Liam and Maslin talking about the cricket soon. So the T10 they had recently. So I don't know if Afi Martin maybe can give us a call later because I know he's a key guy in this thing. So probably before the program ends, maybe he might call us. So we'll take our first break now. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Come and put on the song.
Sports Wrap, your dynamic, riveting weekly sports show on Q95. The entire Caribbean is listening to Sports Wrap on the big station every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. with renowned veteran sports commentator and retired magistrate Ozzie Lewis, famous cricketer and sports analyst Lockhart Sibo Sebastian. Sports Wrap, your one-stop shop for unique, inclusive, in-depth analysis of local, regional, and international sports, bringing you the best in sports debate and up-to-the-minute information and statistics. Sports Wrap, every Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. 2 exciting hours of pure, exciting sports talk. The experts are in the house. Sports Wrap, every Thursday evening, only on the big station, only on Q95. Lock it in.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
I want to pick up for me Christmas.
Well, if it's puff you want, you can get that and a whole heap more. Besides your favorite grocery item, ACS is giving you chances to win this Christmas. Spend $50 or more and drop your receipt with your name and number in the box provided at any ACS branch, and you can win the following. First prize, one Blackstone 36-inch stainless steel grill with cabinet. Wow. Second prize, one Blackstone 4-burner 36-inch grill with hard cover. My. Third prize, $300 worth of groceries. And 3 lucky customers will win $100 worth of groceries each. So spend less, shop at ACS, and win!
I want to pick up for me Christmas.
Everybody coming down to the stadium.
So come and enjoy the cricket.
All you know, all you like it.
It's not nature, Dream 11, Naturality 10, in Dominica, 6-7.
Giving them a 10. A test of nature. Dream 11, Naturality 10, in Dominica, 767. Everybody coming down to the stadium.
Come to see the Valley Hikers and the Tito Gosh Splashers.
Everybody coming down to the stadium.
To see Sari Sunrisers and Barana Hote Warriors.
Everybody coming down to the stadium.
To the Indian River Rowers and the Champagne Reef Divers.
Yes, they coming down.
So come and enjoy the cricket.
All you know, all you like it. Yes.
Dominica, the natural, giving them a test of nature. Dream 11, Naturality 10, in Dominica, 6-7.
Giving them a test of nature. Dream 11, Naturality 10, in Dominica, 767. Everybody coming down to the stadium.
So come and enjoy the cricket.
All you know, all you like it. Everybody coming down to the stadium.
So come and enjoy the cricket.
All you know, all you like it.
Test of nature, Dream 11, Naturality 10, in Dominica, 6-7.
Giving them a test of nature. Dream 11, Naturality 10, in Dominica, 767. Everybody coming down to the stadium.
Come to see the Valley Hikers and the Tito Gosh Splashers.
Everybody coming down to the stadium.
To see Sari Sunrisers and Barana Hote Warriors.
Everybody coming down to the stadium.
To the Indian River Rowers and the Champagne Reef Divers.
Yes, they coming down.
So come and enjoy the cricket.
All you know, all you like it. Yes.
Dominica, the natural, giving them a test of nature. Dream 11, Naturality 10, in Dominica, 6-7.
Giving them a test of nature. Dream 11, nature.
Okay, we are back and we have with us in studio Liam Tibasel, the second vice president of the Dominica Cricket Association. Will also be joined by the president, Clement Maslin. As most people would know, the 4th edition of the Dream 11 T10 competition was completed on Saturday. Ronald was there. Thompson, I'm sure you were there. There was a decent crowd at the Windsor Park. Good win. So, Liam, first question is, from an association point of view, were you all satisfied with what happened with 2.5 weeks of this 4th edition of the Dream 11?
Yeah, good night to everybody. Yes, we were definitely satisfied with the end result. It was off to a slow start when we kicked off, and this tournament maybe was the most difficult one in terms of logistics and all the different moving parts. But in the end, I think we can say that we are definitely happy with what we executed, both from a local standpoint and certainly from the satisfaction of Dream 11, which they are very satisfied with the end result of the tournament. So yes, we're happy.
But what problems you encountered? You say about the teething problems. You care to share to the public?
Well, some of the problem, the main problem is something that the public wouldn't see in terms of the deliverables with the streaming and the internet and so on, which is behind the scenes. So the general public locally doesn't even know that we would have issues because they're seeing cricket played on the field. But we had some issues in that area, but we rectified it, and I think it coincided with the return of Alec and Kavem. So when they came in, we saw that the stream levels were rising at the same point. So I guess it was a coincidence that we sort of rectified it early enough, and the two players were available.
Hey, come on, you ready?
Lobby, you want to ask a question? Lobby, are you hearing us?
Sorry, continue. It's
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, we have with us Clement Masley as well, the president. Oh, wow. Good night, Mr. Masley.
Good night, gentlemen. Compliments of the season.
Thank you.
Hope
Liam,
everything is well.
yeah, your second vice president is in studio as well. Where he just said that he was satisfied with how things went in the last 2 weeks. He explained that there was some teething problem. But you are the president, as the leader of the group. How do you feel about how things went?
Well, Simo, again, I want to say congratulations to my team at the DCA for putting on a very good event. But as you know, we're always looking to improve, even from yesterday, from our discussions in relation to how we can continue to have the project running, but how we can also do new additions to make it better. Because, you know, sometimes you may have something that is good, but you always strive for the best. And in my own analysis, it was a very well executed event, tournament. But nonetheless, we have to look at the areas where improvements can be made. And that is how we can continue to grow as a association, and that is how the sport can continue to improve. Not just settling for what you're comfortable with, but trying to push into new frontiers and getting things done better.
Yeah, I attended a few of the games, and I was very impressed with the quality of production. What was presented, the quality, the players, the uniforms, the umpires, the field. I was very impressed with the quality of production. However, I think that some more promotion can be done. You've got a quality product, and we need to promote it so more people can come to the game. That would be a very enriching factor. Moreover,
yes, I agree with you on that. Even at the post-mortem, that was one of the areas we realized that more should be done. It may not determine that you're going to have more people, but if once you put the effort, then the expectation can be merited that we did X and Y, and we are expecting to have a greater crowd at the event. The other thing is that as compared to the previous tournaments, we would also have it streamed live on Flow, who is a sponsor, but because of some technical issues, this tournament, this wasn't possible, and we may have missed out on that. But as we said, as we continue to improve, I'm sure those things will work themselves out.
Yeah, because your entry fee is very, very reasonable. And the product that you have, if you can market it properly I think that you'll have a greater attendance at the games. Another thing I would want to see happening is that if in between the innings or in between the games, we can highlight some of our past players. Some of the past players, their names are on the stands. It's unfortunate Sebastian's name is not there. I don't know why. But we have some of our past players, the names are on the stands. If people can just do a little research and you feature them. So
yeah,
you
but you have two Sebastians in company with you, yeah? And I believe it is my opinion and subject to correction. They both have played sufficient cricket at the level in which either one of their names could be inscribed on anything in the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. I am subject to correction, but I am sure you'll agree with me.
I agree with you.
That they have done yeoman service to the sport, and it is befitting for them to be their names to be there, and that is something we could advocate. I know the younger one would not comment on that because I know him quite well, and it's somebody I want to publicly and sometimes publicly comment. Sometimes you have people around you, and it's when they depart that you give them the flowers, right? But I am not that. I'm not of that thought. I believe Liam has done above and beyond the call of duty to really ensure that the programs and of the DCA continue to improve. And it's not. It wouldn't be fair to single him out from the executive, because the executive, we all put our best efforts together. But there's one trait that he has, and I relish that as well. Liam will spot everything that needs to be done. He's very meticulous on that, and that is why we are able to get things up to par. We don't leave things to chance. For me, I would make do, but for him, he's very, very, very meticulous, and I want to commend him publicly for that. As well, Jesse Badwill, who's the treasurer, Jamie John Baptist, who is not somebody who speaks a lot, but whenever he gives instruction, it is really based on sound judgment. As well, the secretary, who is also an attorney, Dana Matthew. You have David Johnson, who is one of the most important players in that, because he's the one who's doing the scoring, and any mistake on the scoring will cost us at DCA, if you understand how the Dream 11 tournament operates. As well, Kimara Ito, who is our PRO, but is also a manager on the team. You have Kurt Samuel, who is also another member, and as well Anthony Scotland, who is a very is an older person, but he's the one that gives us a level of maturity, and the experience comes in handy. So it's all together team effort, but we can't also forget our secretary at the office, and as well our curator Clyde PLV, who works tirelessly to ensure that everything gets together. So it's not just one person on the executive, but it's a collaborative effort from each and every one of us, and we have to also bring in many stakeholders like the umpires, the ground staff, the scorers, and even the public and private sector, because they have to give time off to their staff to come and really make the product successful. So it is something that we also have to be extremely grateful for the private sector, who not only give staff but also give financial contributions. And this year, Josephine Gabriel and came in with Twapito came in as well as a headline sponsor, and many others came in. Coca-Cola was one. We had the TGI group of companies, and people coming in and really sponsoring. Well, that helped us so very much.
We live in the internet age, and obviously you could get the link to watch cricket. But a lot of elderly people at home, and they don't have access to the internet. One thing I felt didn't work out this year, that you didn't have local radio coverage. And to me, that was the only deterrent. So what do you all plan to do about that? The next edition of any one of you all can answer.
Well, I know it's the first few days there wasn't any coverage, but well, we were not checking ourselves, but DBS should have been carrying the match live on 89.5, I believe.
89.5.
I'm not too sure what was done there. That's something that we can follow up on, but it's obviously something that we can take in. But in the grand scheme of things, with that tournament, the main thing is to ensure that the internet and the streams is running, because without the stream, even if you have people in the stands and you have the radio coverage, the tournament is basically null and void in terms of the execution and what has to be done. And we now living in an age where with the technological advancements, everybody basically has to get up to speed. So we have to try to balance it in terms of getting everybody's happy, but it may not be a situation where we can satisfy everybody. But we will surely do our best whenever the next edition is to ensure that it is broadcast live on radio from the start of the tournament.
Well, as you talk about happiness, obviously the main people you would want to be happy is the title sponsor. Have you spoken to them since the tournament has ended? Dream 11, obviously, they're the key people in the scheme of things.
Yeah, well, it not only after the tournament has ended, there's a WhatsApp group that for the faint-hearted, if you're in that group, you maybe would just leave it from the questions that are being asked and how meticulous they are, because I mean, at the time difference in India is I think 9 hours or something like that. So sometimes at some other hours of the morning, you have messages coming, calls coming from an unknown number. You can't even understand properly what the person is saying. But at the end of the day, you know, okay, it's coming from Dream 11. And one of the main persons, I think, is the managing director, is his title. We have already spoken to him, and he's very satisfied with what. And one of the messages he said is that they're very happy with the product that Dominica is executing. And I think we all understand, for the amount of tournaments that we have had in a short space of time, it's because obviously that Dream 11 is very happy from what we're executing, and that's why we always try to keep the product at a very, very high standard. So far, in speaking with them, they are satisfied, and as we said, they share the same sentiments that it started off slow, but it picked up in the back end of the tournament.
All right.
I saw India today. They got 2 for 1, but they had Dream 11 on their shirts. And when I said, you all got a very good associate. You all have a very good sponsor, and you all need to continue working very close to that sponsor, understanding the requirements of the sponsor and satisfying those requirements.
Yeah, definitely. And as Clement rightly said, that is something that we understand, and we try to push each other in that regard. So not only for the Nature ILT10, but even our local tournaments, we try to keep each other on the ball and ensure that we have all our tournaments of a high-class standard. Obviously, our local tournaments would not be of that standard because of the finance needed for that. But when hosting a tournament of that magnitude and you have a sponsor as Dream 11, because Dream 11 sponsors, the World Cup, and if you're on the front of India's shirt, I mean, there's nothing else that you need in terms of world cricket at present. So that is something that we understand, and even going forward, we have already started planning stuff that we can do, which we will keep in-house for now, but just to keep Dominica at the top of the T10 tournaments in the Caribbean, because as we speak, Barbados is having a T10, and I'm very sure that most persons don't even know, because I saw this afternoon. No disrespect to them, but I think that we are happy with what we're executing in Dominica.
Yes, indeed, and congratulations, Liam and Clemo as well, for well-hosted tournament. I was able to see a couple of the games, but let's come back to the tournament a little bit. In terms of the emerging talent and the emerging players of this tournament, can you just tell us a little about whom we should keep our eyes on in terms of the guys who really performed during this past tournament?
Well, let me just say that for a tournament of that magnitude and what is involved in terms of betting, the under 15 players are not allowed to play because they do not meet the age requirements in India for the legal side of things. So the only players participating in the tournament are 15 and over. So some of the players that we...
No, take a time to explain that to people, because when you say because of the legal in India, because in the Sachin Tendulkar, arguably the greatest Indian batsman of all time, played Test cricket at the age of 15. So explain that.
But I think...
to the public here.
The games, I think, how Dream 11 really makes their money is that on the matches, there are persons in India, whoever they are, betting on particular players, particular games, and they would spread their money or spend their money on particular teams and so on. So because of the age requirement, if you're under 15, it's not legal, I would say. I stand corrected, but that's one of the requirements that we had, that if you're under 15, that you're not allowed to play in the competition because it doesn't meet the requirements. But nonetheless, I think we had a few young players that we really did well enough. Tyrese Libla, Jason Vidal from
Tyrese is a bowler, right?
Yeah, both of them. One is a leg spinner, one is a left-hand spinner. Both of them did well. Their team came from last place last year to being in the finals, and I'm sure it was a surprise for everybody else that they reached there. You have Joel Dua, who has been there for the past couple tournaments. He's very young. We have a few of them that maybe
Kind George.
Yeah. We have Amiel Gilbert again from Sari. Jelani Joseph from T2 Go Splashes. And I may not remember everybody.
What about Jackson Vidal?
Yeah,
Jackson Vidal was the young player of the tournament.
Yeah, he received the young player, and then Tyrese received the most promising player of the tournament. So there are a few of them, but in a tournament of that standard and the T10 version, sometimes you kind of don't expect the young ones to really stand out. You really looking for an experienced person to perform. And one of the things that we really like is that the overseas players, what they bring to the tournament, rubbing shoulders with some of these young players, it can also give them that experience that they would need to participate in other tournaments. And I want to single out the fact that we have women involved. So each team have two women per team. And I only think that can help them, as they prepare. I mean, they'll be playing in intermediate competition as a group. And, rubbing shoulders with some of the players who play regional cricket. And so I only think that can serve them well. So that is something that we will continue to ensure that happens, that the women are involved. Because we cannot have them as a team, because we would have to have 6 female teams. And we do not have the numbers for that. But we'll ensure that, we have the women involved in some capacity so that they can get some experience being in the setup, getting the coaching, and just seeing what it is to perform at a high level tournament.
Obviously, Alec Afanaz would have made a big difference in terms of people coming to watch cricket. And I'm sure you all would have been happy. Mr. President, I'm sure you too, because he came in after the second game. So I'm sure he would have been a big draw for such a tournament.
Well, I think it's not only for us in Dominica. I remember Liam and I early up when we were having the discussions, preliminary discussions for the league with the representatives of Dream 11, and they said we have to do whatever it takes, even if Alec has to play one game, because of the immense attraction that he would bring into the project itself and the marketability of the league, and he came in and excited to really play with people he knew, people he grew up with, and really steer people on. And the kind of person Alec is, he is somebody who wants to pull up everybody with him, and that is very good for our cricket. And it really served well in the tournament, as he was able to come up as the MVP, the most runs, the most sixes, and really stamping his authority on the league, but as well as marketing what Dominica has to offer, not just for in the region, but on the international stage. And bearing in mind as well, it offers a good platform to showcase talents for consideration in the bigger league, the IPLs, and the other shorter white ball versions of the game around the globe. So it is a good platform, not just for new boarding talent, but for as well as exposure for people who are already have some taste of international cricket.
And just to join what President said, Alec was scheduled to have an appointment overseas during the tournament after he came late, and he cancelled that appointment to stay for the entire tournament. And credit must go to him for that, because back then when we were speaking, he wasn't even aware that he would have been available for the T10. And when we spoke, that time we were in the Super 50, and I told him, well, we know that you're going to be in the one-day team, but as soon as the one-day series is finished, the T10 will be going on. So he was so excited and chuffed at that opportunity. And then before he came, when we had a discussion, he was saying that there was an appointment And so he was due to come in, play a few games, and miss some, and then come back in the back end. But credit to him, he stayed and played the entire tournament. And we saw what happened. His team won the championship. He got the most sixes, he got the most runs, and tournament MVP. So somebody like that, he's level-headed. So he didn't use the opportunity to say that, okay, well, I'm just coming from a tour, because after each tour, the West Indies players are given some time off. And he didn't want the time off. He came straight in from the day after the series was over. Cavem himself came straight from South Africa. He didn't go back to the camp. We got permission for him to come straight to Dominica instead of going back to the base in St. Vincent. So, I mean, I think they understand their roles as ambassadors and what they bring to Dominican people, and just for a Dominican tournament, because a lot of the tournaments, you find persons might say, okay, well, I'll sit this one out and then I'll get ready for what's next. But credit must go to them. And when they came in, I think the level rose, not only for their teams but the entire tournament, because everybody had to step up playing against.
Yeah, one thing,
Go on.
we've got 3 high-quality players right now from Dominica. 2 on the West Indies team, Alec Afinez and Calvin Hodge. And then on the 19, we've got Stefan Pascal. He was the captain on the 19 West Indies recently, and he has been re-selected as captain again. So these are 3 good prospects that we have. What I want to suggest to the Cricket Association, if part of your work program, they could have a form of coordination of the management and coaching of those players.
Clement, you there? You listening? You heard the question?
I cannot get a little caught up there a while ago. I heard something about management and
yes. As part of your work program, those 3 extra talented persons, Pascal, Afanaz, you can say Afanaz again. You're getting vexed when you say Afanaz. You have to say Afanaz,
yes,
and Hodge, 3 bright prospects. What I'm suggesting is part of your work program, the Cricket Association, Dominica Cricket Association, you develop a program for the coordination of the management and coaching of those 3 players.
Well, for those 3 players, well, the 2 West Indies senior players, that's going to be very difficult to really implement at this level, because they have already gone up the ranks and have all the resources and the coaching staff available for them. Nonetheless, there is the resource in Sam Kernan at the Dominica Cricket Academy, where they in their personal time take the opportunity to train with Coach Sam and really get up to, or remain at the standard that they have already attained. Stefan Pascal as well is also in contact with the pathway coaches for West Indies cricket, and they are very often they send the regimen that he has to follow, and Sam is responsible for implementing those the work that is assigned to him, and getting the footage and sending it back to Cricket West Indies to ensure that those players are up to par as well. Some of the female players as well. There is that Ernisha and Abini. They would often get the training schedule or training plans from Cricket West Indies. They go down to the academy, get the training done, and the report is being sent back to Cricket West Indies. So our players at that level are receiving the support that they require to ensure that their game doesn't fall back. But what we will definitely do is to focus on those who we deem that are next in line to get up to that level. There is the need for adequate additional resources to ensure that those players get up to that level. And there's that premise that once an individual from a territory breaks into West Indies, there's the propensity for them to pull up at least 4 or 5 other players because of one other share encouragement, knowing that it can be done. So there we now at the DCA are charged with the responsibility to ensuring that those new emerging players get the adequate support to ensure that they go up to the next level as well.
But the
Sibo.
management component, does Cricket West Indies focus on the management component? I was reading today that Alzari Joseph net worth is $10 million US.
Yeah, but
So,
some of the players
make some money. Huh?
some of the players have their own agents as well.
Okay.
That help them
All right. Okay, very good.
manage
Very
their
Very
contracts and their deals that they go
Very
through.
good.
Gobi,
Yes.
you asked the question?
Very good.
Yes. What are the chances of Pascal at UWE, going to UWE?
Liam probably can answer that.
No, I think I'll leave that question unanswered for tonight. That's a
What?
personal question with his family, so I don't want to venture with that.
But Liam, is there a criteria you have to meet to get to UWE
But I maybe Lobby, I can help you on that, right? Stefan Pascal is a very unique child, right? Stefan's parents had already enrolled him into a cricketing school in the UK, and to their amazement, the young man decided. He said, "Well, my goal is to make West Indies under 19 and possibly captain the under 19. So I will push school back for a year and train as hard as I can to make the team." And you see now the results. So that is indicative of somebody who is not just a player, but somebody who thinks through life, who has the skill, who's equipped with that level of analysis and understanding of what is required at the world stage to get up there, and has committed himself to training and putting the effort towards attaining his own goals. And he didn't just tell his parents that he is making under 19. He said possibly captain the West Indies team. And today, Stefan is the captain going to South Africa for that. So I believe he has understood what is required and to become the cricketer that he wants to do. And there are other mediums that he could attend, the other educational opportunities that a university will offer. I think traditionally universities were considered as just brick and mortar, but now you have e-learning, you have different platforms that players can also become even more well-rounded, not only just in cricket, in their cricketing career, but they can have other those who are academically inclined can also do that, pursue that route as well. So I think Stefan is in a good place. We just need to encourage him to continue doing well, and the world will be at his disposal.
Okay, gentlemen, the year is ending, another one is starting. Are you all satisfied with what had happened this year from an association point of view? And what are your plans for the new year, which starts in a few days' time?
Well, Sibo, I think that question is aimed at me, but I will reflect. I will let it reflect to the. I think I'll let that go to the cricket operations officer right next to you, because I think he knows what we have done so far. So
yeah, we are satisfied with what has happened. Obviously, but there's room for improvement. I think there have been a number of players from Dominica now who have made representative teams. The under 15 just won the under 15 championship in St. Vincent. Also, we will also give credit to the sports division. We work collaboratively on that. We now have Amir Gilbert, who is going to train with the West Indies under 19 female team. The president mentioned Ernisha and Abini. Abini is recovering from injury. We have Kavem and Alec at the senior level. We have Stefan at the under 19 level, and there's been a lot, I would say, that has happened in the past year cricket-wise, and we're proud of a lot of the achievements, and we're satisfied, but understanding that there's room for improvement. So the year is coming to an end, yes, and as the year turns, as we would say, we start off with the Intermediate Cricket League in the second week in January. This afternoon we would have confirmed the fixtures, and they will be going out to the teams well, if they have not gone out already, but tomorrow morning. And then as soon as that is finished, we will go into the Premier League. It's a pity that we cannot have the two competitions, simultaneously because of the availability of grounds. But what we're trying to do is to play as much cricket as we can. We do not have the World Cup in Dominica, so that's another avenue that we have, that we can just play cricket. Yes, we have the 4-day championship, which some of our players will be involved in. So we expect next year coming in to be another good year for Dominica in terms of cricket. But as a cricket association, we are happy with what has happened. Nonetheless, we understand that there's room for improvement.
Okay, guys, because I know Liam has to leave. He has a selection meeting soon. Mr. President, thank you very much. Thank you, Liam. I know Liam has to leave.
Always a pleasure, Sibo. Always a pleasure. And one thing I want you to remind Liam is that the selection policy that he was also instrumental in ensuring that we get that done. We were able to send out a team of fit athletes as well to go out, because no one was allowed to participate in the tournament, not meeting the fitness standards, and that is what would really help drive our performances in the future. So again, thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure. Anytime we would be able to share the information as it relates to cricket. So best wishes in the new year, Sibo, and company, and we will continue the work.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Bram. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we just had the president and second vice president of the DCA talking about their plans, and nice, good interview. And Ronald, it's nice to see, as you said, that we're seeing something happening now, but we just hope it continues. I mean, the two guys would have left for Australia, obviously. There's a 4-day game next week, sometime next week. They have a 4-day game before the first test match. Yeah, they have a 4-day game next week for them. And
Sibo,
yes,
isn't it difficult a transition for our players in Australia? Is it going to be difficult for our players in Australia?
Well, I wouldn't say difficult. I mean, if you're a cricketer, you're a cricketer.
You agree? Just now, you're saying if you are a cricketer. But just now, I think the Windward Islands suffered recently in the 40 tournament. I think I missed last year because you were talking about the performance of the Windward Islands
in the 50 over Super 50. They didn't do well, in Super 50.
Yeah, because it's a whole transition from 50 overs to a 40 game. It's going to be difficult for us.
You mean for West Indies?
Yeah, for West Indies.
Well, we'll see. I mean, they have, as I tell you, they have a 4-day game before. They have the camp in Australia. They're going to a camp. They have a 1-week camp, and then the 4-day game, and then the first test. So it's not going to be easy. I mean, you're playing against the world's best team. I mean, even other teams struggle. So
yes, maybe I can tell you, I'm extremely nervous.
No, it's not going to be easy.
No, but Sibo, you were last week. You spoke about. You said about Viv on them, when they first made him as a youth team.
In 1974, when they went to India, on the Clyde Lloyd.
But let's look back at your time. The standard at that time was much higher than what we have now. First of all, Sebastian, what made that standard so high? You look at our fast bowling. You had quality bowlers that made the batsmen step up. The bowling, there's a serious deficiency in genuine fast bowlers in the Caribbean.
But at the same time, Lobby, you just never know, Sometimes guys step up. I remember when West Indies went to, it was Bangladesh, and that's when this chap from Barbados, Kyle Myers, stepped up and scored a double century. You just never know.
We'll come to that, Lobby, but
might just do
one
that
point before, you look at the South African guy who made his debut. You saw how many matches he had, first class matches played?
Yes.
87. He has 2400s and only now making his debut. 87 he's played,
Yes.
He has an average of almost 50. We have guys going to Australia, average of 20. So anyway, when we come to cricket, we'll talk about that closer to it. But we have with us Cedric Harris. Lobby, we're looking forward to you asking the question. Cedric, an athletics coach, as most people would know. Cedric, you have an event coming up. Tell people about it, please.
Yes, good evening to listeners of QFM and Sports Rap.
295.
Q95. Q95 FM. Yes, this Saturday, 30th of December, the Pioneers Athletics Club is putting out our 7th annual BriPac Memorial. And BriPac Memorial is an event that started in 2017 after the death of Brian Packett, who was a member of the club. He died in St. Kittswell in line of duty, police officer. And since then, we have had that event on a yearly basis. This year will be the 7th edition, and we are putting it up on Saturday, and we are targeting a number of categories from under 13, under 15, under 18, under 23, under 30, 40 plus, and we have a youngest and oldest finisher. And this event is going to be running again the 7th year in progress, and we are hoping to have a good turnout. The event will be running off from 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon from the Newtown Savannah, and we go in a southern direction to Loubier, where we're going to make a U-turn at the junction, the 4-hour Loubier junction, and return to Newtown Savannah. Registration will be on 2 p.m. to 3, and registration is free. And we're expecting again a number of participants to come out. But this event could not go out without this kind support of a number of individuals. And I'd like to list them out there. Ruben Bakery, Dr. Dublin, Sports and Wear, that's you all know Bala, is always ready to help. Benjo Simos, JR Distribution. We have Dr. Sophia George, yours truly, Lockhart Sebastian. Is there Irving Harney, Esther Jackson? These are all members of the Harris family who are putting their share. M1 News also is supporting us in that. And Ketai Restaurant. We do that, and we continue to do as we do. And Pioneers Athletics Club this year, we celebrated 27 years in existence from 1996 November till now. It's not easy to do sports in Dominica and continue at the way it is. But we have been doing our best. We have a number of prominent parents in our executive. And I think that is the cause that we are still on our foot and doing what we do. We want to say again to all those who supported us, thank you, and all the best for 2024. And we are leaving the season, want to leave it with a bang.
Lobby, you have any question for Cedric?
Yes, I wonder, I'm a bit surprised, that Harris, didn't touch on where the club is training in the gardens and the need for a track. And also,
he will get to that. He will get to that. He was still focused on the event.
Let's know. Tell the public, why it is so difficult that you all cannot even get at least 2 hours in the afternoon or 3 days in the week to train in the stadium.
Well, Well, as I can
just 1 minute. I have a supplementary question so you can deal with both of them at the same time. There was some discussion some time ago about an all-purpose athletic track somewhere down Portsmouth area.
Point Road. Point Road.
Yeah. What was the latest developments on that? I know Mr. White was talking a lot about that.
Well,
what's the latest developments on that?
Well, from my end, I'm not a part of the executive of the Athletic Association. So as a club, what has been told to us that this project is on a hold due to some legal implications that have been on where that is concerned. And that's all I can say where that is concerned. In terms of training, we train at the Botanic Gardens, and we've been doing that for a number of years.
But it's terrible.
It's not the ideal place for training, but as I always say to persons, the best training for running is running, and we can utilize, we have somewhere we can use, and hopefully we hope that things will get better sooner than later. But as I said, I mean, my focus here now is to push this event and make sure that all sundry can come out and support. And again, you don't have to win, but you can just, participate for health purposes, because now there are a number of people in the early mornings, we see them walking, jogging, and a 5K run is not too much, not too little as well. So you can go there and you can have your own goal. I mean, you want to complete the 5K and there's much health benefits involved, as we said. So I wanted to say, I would use the opportunity to do that. And again, thanks everybody. The Pioneers Athletics Club, in the 2024, we are hoping a number of activities that we plan to go. And as usual, we'll be coming out in full force to request support to continue developing the sport of athletics and promoting as part of the association goal.
Well, Cedric, I really want to commend. In fact, last week I spoke about you on this program because I saw you, at the Gardens, and we were there in the 90s, practicing in the 90s, and how many years later, 30-something odd years later, nothing much has changed, and it's really unfortunate that we do not have this all over the track, and but people like you, man. I mean, my hats off to you. You were one of our guys at the time. You were an athlete when we were doing the myself and Low Black, we were on the DAA, and you were one of the athletes, and you've represented Dominica well, and we, the fact that you're able to continue is really, I mean, my hat is off to you, and I just want to congratulate you on keeping that club strong. Pioneers was there, just like Westmore Rangers and
Olympians number one. Cedric, that is where his breeding ground. That's where he came from. Olympians.
Olympians, as I said, I was one of the founding members of Olympians. But I want to say that athletics have done a lot for me, and went out, get myself an education, and come back to kind of give back, so to speak, because again, education in Dominica, somewhat you come with certain qualifications and it doesn't mean much. But I think that giving back, show the kids that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and we don't have the facilities, but the prospect. Good thing about athletics, not like football and cricket where you need a team to make you look good. You go out there and you're on your own. You're on your own. What you put in is what you're gonna get out. A number of scouts right now is searching for athletes. The only thing we need is to just get our athletes out, because in 1996, those persons who followed that, that's the largest team we ever had qualified, and each of the members on that team, we were at university at the time. Woody Lawrence was the only athlete who was here, and since then we have been trying to fill up a team with, again, I mean, the Olympic Committee is doing its best, but I think more so we need to find an area where we can maybe, I'm trying to pick my words, but there are certain countries that have set up plans or programs with universities. And what it does is that the country would support. So sometimes the housing aspect, where the school would offer tuition and have the athletes come in. I think something like that, the powers that be can look into something like that and reach out, because we have a lot of talent here in Dominica. We just have to market it.
Natural talent.
But something here, Harris. Yes, one thing you have to, in my tenure, my time here in Dominica, so a few years I left, there's one thing I always encourage my athletes, those at school, to do well at school. No matter how good you are, a sprinter, a runner, a jumper, and you want to go to a university, your academics is very, very important. If you can do well in the SAT, you can get a full scholarship. All right, where everything is covered for you. But you have to get that first hurdle. You have to do math and English. Very, very important. Able to read, able to do math. Very, very important to do good at school. Not just going to be a sprinter, a jumper, or thrower. But the academics is very, very important.
Okay, Cedric, thank you very much.
Okay, and
Hope your thing,
So
everything
again,
works out properly on
the,
Saturday for you.
the time again for the event.
The time of the event runs off at 3:30. Registrations from 2 to 3.
Tomorrow,
Okay,
Saturday.
Saturday
the 30th.
And Newtown Savannah is the starting point.
Okay, so me and Sibo will be there in the 40+ category.
Yes.
We wish
All
you all
right.
the best.
And thanks again.
And Ron will
Wish
join
you all the
us
best. Sir.
in the
Okay,
40+.
Okay, thank
All
you
right?
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, it was nice that I heard from, but you know, he made a point, you know, guys, about what's going to happen in Point From. Now, you don't even hear this thing. We were told that we're going to have this big thing in Portsmouth and all of it. Look, you hear what Cedric Harris is saying?
It's on hold.
It's on hold now. Why is it on hold? They have some legal problem. And you know, this is the kind of foolishness that goes on in this place.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
thinking about this. I'm thinking about, I want, since we're on track and field, you know, Karani James in
Grenada.
Grenada,
Yeah.
when he was in the youth farm, when he was at high school, he
Yeah.
competed against a Dominican player,
Yeah.
and this Dominican guy beat him.
Right.
This Dominican is nowhere.
Nowhere, no.
Karani James has gone on. They built a stadium in honor
right
of
next to
Karani
the
James,
cricket stadium.
and there are about 3 or 4 athletes, you know, who are at the very top of the world in
Correct.
track and field because of that.
Yes.
It's okay to train on the grass, on this uneven grass
In the
there in the gardens, but it's just not going to cut it.
No way.
You know, you need to be training on the all-weather track so that you can, when you compete, that's what you're going to compete on. You don't compete on grass.
Exactly.
And
you
it's
don't
a
hear
different
anything
feel.
from-
It's a different thing altogether, you know. And
But it's
it's really a shame
So we would
globally
not have known anything
that
on-
all of after
if he
all
didn't
of
say
these
that
years,
tonight.
all of these years,
If
we
he
did not
didn't
have
say that tonight.
an all-weather track in Dominica.
Anyway, we have to take a break now.
And now
because
we are hearing it
Yeah.
it is not.
It's on hold, he says. It's on hold because of
It's
legal
all
problems.
it's always on hold.
He says it's on hold. Anyway, we have to take a break. now.
Meaning it is not happening.
Well, it did not happen, Lobby. Nothing
Shut
is going to
up.
happen. You said they have legal. Probably the owners of the land, they didn't even get permission, all this sort of thing. Anyway, let's take a break now.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
7:15.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Ready? Okay, we are back, and we have with us the PRO of the Dominica Football Association, Mr. Emil Lawrence. Compliment of the season to you, sir.
Compliment of the season, gentlemen. This is a fantastic time to bring a close to our sport shop as the final for 2023. Let me thank you all for doing an outstanding job.
Yeah, well, we have with me Ronald Landa is there. Dr. Funkford, as we
Mr.
know.
Landa, how are you, sir?
Good night.
Your countryman is there as well.
How are you doing?
Your countryman, you don't know your countryman?
I have so many countrymen, Mr. Siwo.
Well, you know who called you? You don't know who your countryman? Who called you?
He does
Dr. Fontaine
he
is
does
there.
not remember my voice.
Good evening, Dr. Fontaine. How are you, Dr. Compliment of the season, sir.
Thanks, bro.
And then we have Emmanuel Loblack.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. How can I forget this good gentleman? Lobby, how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Lobby,
All the
hey.
best for the season.
Lobby,
Lobby must be MIA, man.
Lobby, are you hearing him?
Yes.
Yes, I'm hearing him loud and clear.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's get started. Mr. Lawrence, you're the PRO. You took over midway through the year.
Yeah, I took over on the 21st of July, 2023.
Right. So you're still in a position to tell us what has happened, the successes of the Football Association this year, if there were, and the plans for the year. So,
okay. In everything we do, there are challenges, as we know, but on July the 21st, 2023, the Dominica Football Association elected a new executive. Hence, then it can remain as president, as we all know. Stanton Serafin, first vice president. Alden Andy Gallery, second vice president. Mr. John Joseph as our treasurer. Leandra Bell Charles, assistant secretary treasurer. Myself, Eddie Lawrence, as PRO. Henrich Anson as committee member Martin Lockhart, and as well Kurt Christoph. The successes of the DFA for 2023 is that we've seen the opening of the Stock Farm Training Center. Although it's not in full completion as to the way it should be, but this is a highlight of the Dominica Football Association. That is the Stock Farm Training Center. It will see better works come the new season. Presently, as we are speaking, we are promoting right now the club licensing for the new season come 2024. So this is ongoing, and we are doing this in a different manner and style. This time, the DFA is meeting with the clubs, the various clubs in zones. So as I'm speaking to you presently, the first of its kind is happening right now at the Patrick John Football House. And gentlemen, please feel free to stop me as we are just having this conversation.
The meeting that is currently going on for which zone?
That is for the sovereign zone. That is the sovereign taken from Warner way down to Grand Bay, to include Point Michel, Soufriere, Scottsdale, and all those in the Roseau catchment area. So that is going on presently as we are speaking. We will meet with the northern and eastern district come next week, the Lord tarries. So this is a new approach. Other years it was done collectively, all clubs, but this year we want to meet with clubs and walk them through the process properly so as to have better representation when it comes to even their AGMs and how CONCACAF wants to see things happen going forward. So this is going on presently as we are speaking. We saw the end of our Premier League, and I still want to send congratulations out to the Central Cooperative Credit Union, Dublin, for emerging victorious for the year 2023, and also the 10 teams in our Premier League. They showed what it is, but next year, we will still see 10 teams, but with the exception of LA Stars. LA Stars got relegated, hence now Belfast Soccer Strikers are the new kids on the block, although they were there already. So that brought a culmination to our Premier League.
How many teams get promoted and how many get demoted every year?
Well, it's on a point basis, goal basis as well. They get promoted based on how well they performed in the first division, and the premiers how poor they performed in their league. So LA Stars, for example, did not meet the criterion to keep on the Premier League. So hence LA Stars came out 10 out of the 10 leagues, or not leagues, the 10 teams, sorry. And hence, as a result, they found themselves being relegated to the cellar position. Now, prior to that, just recently, we had the game between Bombers FC of Portsmouth and All Saints. Bombers FC as well were on the verge of being relegated, but they proved themselves victorious and they won All Saints because All Saints were the second in position to play what we would call the cellar position team. So All Saints came out second hence in the first division. So hence Bombers won and maintained their position. And that game, if I recall, they gave All Saints a resounding blow as 12-0. Also, we saw the culmination of our Women's League. And again, I want to send out congratulations to the Goodwill Runners, headed by Mr. Griffith, He's been showing his work. He's been showing how well the ladies in his care can perform, and they have been winning championships on a number of occasions as well. So we want to as well salute the Goodwill runners as well as the Belfast Estate Mao Soccer Strikers. So this got an end 2 weeks ago to our women's league. What is happening presently as well in the DFA, as we are looking forward to building capacity, and I know, Lovi, this is one of your areas you probably want to talk and see something about. We are in the process together with CONCACAF doing a license B course for our coaches. So no longer will we see our football being in a study fashion. Right now we have 19 or 17 of our coaches on island doing the CONCACAF B license.
Where is that taking place?
It's done virtually and face to face.
So how long that course goes on for?
It's a 6-month program.
Okay.
And this is to build capacity. And one of the things CONCACAF is saying come next year, that if, for example, you, Lobby, is to represent Dominica as a coach, you should possess at least a B license. So the DFA is going forward with this as well. So it's going to be a little serious for some persons, because we know work and the whole system and how the system has been governed. But in due time, as we work the process, we will find workable ways to maneuver so as to have the private sectors where our young men and our women too, because we have women doing the coaching, they can really be part of it, because we do not want anybody to be behind. Hence, we building capacity. Well, that's one of the things that this new executive is looking forward to, is to build capacity. No longer will we will just choose a pocket of persons, but we will have a cadre of qualified coaches, and these men will help come the next season to as we are going forward with our under-20 league, with our women's league, with our under-15 league, and so forth. So hence there is a lot happening for us. Also, as we are talking presently, but they stopped earlier today because of their own logistics. We have the under-20 national team training, so they will be leaving for Trinidad in the month of February. I say Trinidad, but it may be somewhere else. But for now, we know it's Trinidad. They will be leaving in somewhere in February. That's under-20.
What competition will they be taking part in?
They'll be taking part in the CONCACAF under-20.
How many teams taking part in that? Are playing in that competition?
Well, for Dominica, we'll be playing against Canada and St. Vincent in our. My daughter's giving a little competition.
A lot of competition, not little.
Yes, so I'm going to close up in another area.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So they will be playing with teams such as Canada, St. Vincent, and Trinidad. That's in their zone. So they are leaving for Trinidad somewhere in February. Also, training is ongoing.
Who is the coach of that team?
The coach now is presently Mr. Joel Hamilton.
Okay.
And it's Joel Hamilton.
Okay.
And the manager is Mr. Algan on the gallery.
Okay.
So that is ongoing as we are speaking. So these young men, and it was 52. So right now we are streamlining so as to get the quality that is needed. So all 52 will not be selected, but the best of the best will be selected to represent the island. Come next year, come next season, everybody should be excited. There will be a different when I would say different view of how football will be played. No longer will a premier team, for example, have a first division team. So you will not be seeing that come next year. So, for example, you will not hear Harlem with a first division team or Southeast with a first division team.
So they must only have one team. They can only have
one team for the premier.
Oh.
One team. And we are encouraging the very premier teams now to have what is termed as the under-20, because we saw it as unfair, and as we know football is fair play, we saw it as an unfair advantage that some of the teams, for the All Saints, the DSFCs, that are worth at least being part of the Premier League, they are sometimes being siphoned because some of the very premier teams are the first division teams playing in the finals, and it causes the teams to be promoted it causes a little risk. So hence, come new season, we will not be seeing any Premier team. Any of the Premier teams will be allowed to have a first division team. So the first division team, and while we are speaking on also, that is being echoed to them in the licensing.
But let me ask you, Dominica, we don't have plenty footballers to think, or plenty teams. So when you tell a team they can, so what happens to the players then? Where do they go?
Now that is where we are coming in, Mr. Sibo. Come 2024, we will be having football, and more football. Because we are going to start, for example, I cannot tell you how many clubs will be registered because the process is ongoing as we speak. But coming January for sure, we will be having the President's Cup. So for example, if we have 40 teams registered for football come 2024, all these teams will be playing for the President's Cup. And this is a new challenge. So here comes if, for example, your team from Collio plays Southeast, your team from Collio wins Southeast, your team from Collio advances to the other round.
Yeah, but let me ask you, stick a pin. Okay, take for instance Harlem, they have a Division 1 team. You said they cannot have that team. Where do these guys go? Who are they going to play for? Which team do they play for?
Well, Mr. Sebastian and your panel, this is one area they can play, and they will not be allowed not to play. But we are saying, for example, no, this is logistics. Let's take an area, not that I'm pointing at them, Parish Pit, for example. You have 4 teams coming up from Parish Pit. But we are saying, can all these teams come together and from one solid club so as to give everybody a fair chance to play? Rather than having 4 teams in the same area.
Yeah, but listen, if you take 4 teams, let's say each team has an average of 20 people, that's 80 players. So you're going to have 80 players in one team? No.
I'm going to bring it up. Southeast, for example, Southeast. There is a Southeast Premier team. Now, out of the Southeast Premier team, there may be players that, for example, that came into the Southeast Premier team and they did not play. They are still members of the club. So it's up to the clubs and the coaches to give these players play time. So the FA cannot say to you, okay, you have 80 players, play this person. We cannot do it. So it's up to the coaches and all the clubs to say who they will be playing. However, there is the ultimatum with the Southeast. There is an RC doctors. So those that feel they are not playing and they are not eligible for the Premier team, they can always find themselves in the first division teams with the others. So we are not saying everybody should be on the Premier team, but then there is a way that they can be part of the football by playing in the first division.
Maybe, Thompson, I understand where you're going with this and where the association is going with this, but you would think that if you're looking at organizing the club, if you're getting the club organized, that is within those clubs that you would have a first division team, a Premier League team. They would be in a better position to get those teams organized. I am listening very attentively to get your logic or your reasoning why the teams cannot do a first division team. And I'm not sure I understand. Are you saying that the players who play for the Premier League, they also play for the first division, and that's why you want to stop it?
That is what we are trying to prevent.
So why not?
For example, the under 20. For example, the under 20. Yeah. An under 20 player can play Premier football. Mm-hmm. But another that is if the Premier team has an under 20. But that under 20 player cannot play for another club. He must play for the club he is registered to. So no, we are not saying you cannot play football, but what we are saying, for example, La Plaine Ellis Stars got relegated. So for you to play for an Ellis Stars person now to play Premier, it's unfair. It's an unfair advantage to the others because they were relegated. So for them now to send the player to play Premier, you see how it's not practical for the others. So what we are saying and what we are proposing, and that is going on all now. So the under 20 will for the Premier will allow the others, those that are under 20, to play in the under 20 league.
But Abby, don't you think you will be more or less confusion between clubs, or more or less breaking up clubs
and weakening the clubs?
And
I
weakening
think
the clubs.
that's a real danger there. You instead of strengthening the club system, you might be weakening it. Yeah.
Well, you see it in that light. But one of the things that we are encouraging, and I see where you all are going, gentlemen. But one of the things we are encouraging as well, as we know, is to allow everybody to be part of the football family. Hence, at the end of the day, if everybody cannot be part of it, it's up to the clubs now to work and put things in order for their players.
Yes, but you're telling the clubs that you can only have a Premier League team. You cannot have a First Division team. I would think if you have more opportunity,
because all 3 years, Dr. Fountain, the Premier clubs had a First Division team as well.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 years, but what does that do to the First Division team? For example, when they meet in the final, for example, you have Southeast meeting reunited in a First Division final.
Mm-hmm.
And Southeast already is in the Premier team. There is no way that the finalists in the First Division that are Premier teams to be promoted. There is no way.
Oh, so you're saying because you can't have 2 Premier League teams in this.
Exactly, you cannot have 2 Premier teams or being of the same club. So hence we are trying our utmost in this season to allow for fair play, that the Premier teams play Premier football and allow now the First Division teams to do the same, and they open for relegation and promotion.
Okay, I understand that, and that to me makes sense now. Now I see where you're heading. I mean, that to me makes a lot of sense, that you cannot have 2 teams, from the same club in the same league. That is understandable. That is which could happen if you have a Premier and a First in the competing. Okay, all right.
I mean, when do you hope to start the new season?
Well, the President Cup will start in January. After the date, I'm not at liberty to give you the date because of the logistics and carnival opening. So we are trying our utmost to not bring it during the season. But I can tell you for sure, when the Premier League starts, it will be just after the carnival, and football will be ongoing. There will be a non-stop lull. So if you have to play 20 games, you will see 20 games. I'm just using a figure. You will see 20 games played. Gone are the days, and that is one of the rules that will be coming up. Gone are the days where a team will call 2 days or 1 day in advance and say they cannot make it. There must be valid reason, because one of the things that we found out as we came about is that the leagues and the games were tardy because it's prolonged. And if you want to see football ongoing, then we are saying that when the Premier League starts, it will be playing. And I found that I hope and pray that one of these days when we speak again, that you will hear we have games at the Windsor Park as well. I'm just praying that you will be hearing that from us. But as we speak, we will be commencing as soon as the carnival season is over. Football commences.
So where you are playing? You're growing at Stock Farm, Portsmouth, Dublin, Wales.
Well, Stock Farm, Dublin, Stock Farm is the FX ground, so football will be there at a constant. Now the other grounds we are to work and see how well we can manage it properly so as to have football, because what we are saying, we want the football to go on and on. So when we play on Saturday, for example, you can have 2 games in Stock Farm and 2 games in the stadium at a given. So there will be no lull. When we say lull, in terms of saying, oh boy, with lack of venue, or this is happening, cricket is happening here, or this is happening here. So we are going to have the football running at a pace that there will be little time and little space for lapses. And that is coming in 2024.
Yes, please.
Question for you now. What is our ranking right now in FIFA, Dominica? Have we gone up?
Well, Lobby, it could have been better, but we are progressing satisfactorily.
No, what is it? Are we at 190? Can you give a number?
You want me to be what is your? No, we are where we are for now. I'll just leave it like.
No, but yes, but if I can Google that and get it, but it's good to have.
Yes, you can Google it exactly. But you know the answer to that.
No, but it's good. No, but some people haven't got access to that. Give us. I mean, there's nothing wrong in saying Dominica right now is at 185. There's nothing wrong in saying that. And we are hoping to come 2025. We have moved from 185 to 170.
2025. Like I said to you on the last program that we met, come 2024, all these things will be straightened. Where we are, we expect progress. Sorry about that, because it's my daughter's birthday, and I'm.
Well, we might have to cut the thing now in our get in touch with you next week because the noise is irritating, honestly.
Yes, it's very irritating. It's very irritating.
So we probably have to cut down. Enjoy your new year. We'll speak to you next week. We'll be in touch with you next week. I'll be in touch with you. Okay?
Apologize to your fans and
no problem
to the listeners because it's my daughter's birthday.
Okay, well, go and enjoy yourself. Go and have a good time, man. So
she doesn't give the time and space.
Okay, no problem. We'll talk to you next week. We'll talk to you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I've been what was a caller?
Callers, yeah.
Caller,
They have been trying.
Let's take the caller.
While. Yeah.
Good night. Hello?
Lost
the call. Yeah, well, Lobby, that's how it is. I'm in the rankings. I mean, he'll answer you next week.
No, but Sebastian, my concern with the whole football in Dominica, the other countries, look, look at Jamaica presently. They're in the Copa America. You know that? Do you know that Jamaica is in the Copa America?
Yeah, I know. They've qualified for that, yeah.
Right, no, it's what they have done with their football. What they have done, who they have gotten to assist their coaches. Mm-hmm. Very, very important. They were using local coaches. Eventually, they got somebody from the outside, based in Jamaica, to assist the local. He working with the local coaches to improve on the football. That is important that we need in Dominica. If we have to go anywhere.
Yeah, let me just give you the latest score. Australia 224-7. They have a lead of 274. Pakistan let them get away.
Yeah.
They're putting away 274 lead. That might prove a lot too much for Pakistan. Over 300 might be too much for them. But last night they had Australia on the run, man. Ronald, did you see it? No. They were 16-4. Australia were at 1 point, 16-4. By the way, Zah, good night. Give me a shout after the program, please. Zah, give me a shout. I need to talk to you about something. And you and your guys on Concerned Citizens Movement. I know I listen to you all on a Friday. Good night. Speak to you later. Yeah, Lobby, what you say now?
Yes, Sebastian. Talking about the game India and South Africa. Were you shocked?
They were demolished in 3 days. Huh?
Yep.
Yeah, 3 days.
Were you surprised, Sebastian?
Very surprised because I didn't expect when I saw the way the Wicked played South Africa to get to all this run. But you have to give full marks to Dean Elgar. He played a brilliant inning, brilliant on a difficult pitch.
185.
185. We have the caller. Good night.
Yeah, Sibo.
Yes.
That new proposal that the FA has coming up there is going to create a lot of migration and it's going to create a lot of stagnation. Because if you have your first division team, that is where you're going to get your replacement for your injured players. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what the hell the association is talking about that you should not have your first division team. Where are you going to get your replacement? It's going to create a lot of migration when players are not able to play and to compete to play for your premier team.
Let me ask you, Jerry. Let me ask you a question. When that proposal was brought forward, did the teams make any fuss about it? Did they agree to that? I'm asking you.
That came about simply because it was becoming very difficult to get the appropriate team to get the promotion in the first division. Because if Harlem had won the first division, they would not be able to have two premier teams in the division. So they keep going on for looking for the appropriate team to be able to promote. That is all about it, you know, Sibo. That is all about it. This is madness.
Yeah, but the teams, what I'm saying, the teams can confirm. The teams must get together. If they feel they have been wrong, if they have
I
been
am
wrong,
waiting and see what the present, my team presently, my club has an illegal body. They have no election for almost 4 years now. It's an illegal body. They are not legally constituted to represent the club.
how does that happen? 4 years you have illegal, but and they still continue.
Exactly, Kibo.
No,
I'm
but,
trying to understand that.
no, but hold on, Jerry. I thought they said they had elections a couple of weeks ago.
Jerry, are you there? Jerry?
Okay, we
lost him.
We
I
have
hope he
another
called
caller.
back.
Lobi, just in case you're wondering, Dominica is ranked 180 out of
I know.
210.
I
All
know.
right? And it's not too bad. We're ahead of Bahamas, we're ahead of
But-
Aruba, we're ahead of Chad, we're ahead
But-
of Pakistan, you know, we're ahead of the Seychelles.
Fontaine.
We're okay.
Let's take a caller. Good night. Good night. 1 week,
Good night,
Lobi.
caller.
Hello.
I am not okay at all.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, caller. Good evening. Go ahead, please.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Season's greeting again, and Merry. Hope you all had a wonderful Christmas.
Maybe you had a better time than us because I heard in your country they were giving you all sorts of goodies in St. Kitts. We didn't get that here.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, the people of Dominica continue to remain very, very passive. I mean, you know, laid back like they are living in heaven. We're only a few doing well, and the majority of the people catching hell. And it so happened that too many good people in Dominica continue to remain silent. And while good people remain silent, bad things will continue to happen.
By the way, Mr. Maynard, did you take part in the jump up? You had carnival, what? This week, it's still going on, or it finished now? Or it culminates over the weekend? Come in. Your carnival.
It so happened that St. Kitts, which I think is one of the few countries in the Caribbean which celebrate carnival around Christmas time. I believe the next country is Montserrat, you know.
Yeah, that's true. They have the carnival around that time. So
Bahamas,
you have
also
your
the
sugar,
Bahamas.
okay. You have your sugar mass. You all call it, right? I remember getting there sometime just before it was finished a few years ago. Yeah.
So it kicks off officially. Well, Jube was on Monday, which is the day after Christmas. Normally would be Boxing Day, and that's when they normally have Jube. So the streets of Bastia would be with music and fun and drinks and party and dancing and entertainment and, you know, you name it, tremendous kaleidoscope of colors in where thousands of people, you know, in Bastia enjoying themselves. The people who want to do that's not really my thing. You know, my thing is sport, and that is what I'm interested in. I mean, yes, I would have trained some of the Queen contestant in terms of the interview. I make that contribution at times, but and you know, it's not really my thing. Tonight, I think last night was the panorama, they say, and tonight's supposed to be the big Queen show, the national Queen show. Tomorrow night, the Calypso show. And Saturday, I don't remember, but Monday and Tuesday would be New Year's Day, the Grand Parade, and Tuesday, which would be last lap. So January the 2nd always be a holiday to round off officially the carnival here in St. Kitts.
Okay, I'm sure you didn't call to talk about carnival. Let me tell you that.
No. I thought it's called to talk about the cricket.
Yeah, well, Australia, the team you support, they're in the lead now. You think they're going to pull it off tonight or tomorrow night? To be over.
Well, I expect Australia to go 2-up. Pakistan is not going to, stand at the end of it. They wouldn't be able to really knock off these outstanding
fast bowlers, which Australia are going to put down this evening. So I am saying that they are going to try their best, because you're talking about Test cricket, but I don't think they're going to stand up at all. So it's 2-0 when it comes to Australia at the end of the day. So I will not be able to enjoy, because I think today's supposed to be day number 4.
Yeah, it's 4th day.
Yeah. So I may not be able to see any cricket tomorrow. So that is what is
Why? You're
important
going to
to me.
be out partying? That's why?
No, because the game might finish before. Yeah, just like unfortunately your team, you know, they
Hold on. My team is just in Australia now. The West Indies team I support. That's my team. Yeah, the West Indies team. No other team.
No other
I
team.
mean, when I like Virat Kohli, everybody knows that. I believe in him. That I love Virat Kohli as a batsman. But my team is the West Indies team. That's the only team I support. I like Virat Kohli bats.
You know,
okay. So is a one-man show. Is not a team. You support a man.
I love Virat Kohli. I think he's the best in the world right now, easily, by a long way, easily.
No. Well, in terms of, I will give him the best in terms of one-day cricket, specifically one-day cricket.
Well, I'm not talking about one day. I'm talking about overall. I talk about batting.
As a batsman.
As a batsman, I think he's the best overall batsman in the world.
I concur with you, Sibo.
Yeah,
well, it's just a matter of opinion, because
it's okay. Who in your view is the best batsman in the world? Tell me.
Well, I will give Steve Smith.
But how many runs does he score in one-day cricket? How many runs does he score in T20 cricket? That's why I said Virat Kohli is overall batsman.
Is that the same Steve Smith who did not make the auction?
Exactly. He couldn't even get selected in the auction. Last night he took almost a whole night to score 50 runs. Look at his record in the last year; it's been very poor. So that's what I'm saying. The best overall batsman is Virat Kohli.
Yeah.
But you're talking about yes, the one-day version. Yes, I know that he is definitely by far in terms of his accomplishment, his record, his achievement, and do
you know his record in Test cricket? You talk about overall. You know his record in Test cricket?
Yes. 20-something Test 100 average in the 40s. You can't put him with Smith.
Averaging, what you say in average?
Steve Smith.
What is Virat Kohli average?
Kohli average in late 40s.
You sure you don't want to go on the net and check that now?
No, because Steve Smith is like 58.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
you sure you don't want to go and check Kohli's record now?
Maybe he crossed the from the last he averaged for a very long time. He never passed 50.
What? But Kohli
never.
He never passed 50. That's what you say.
If he passed 50, maybe barely once or twice.
Mr. Menard, at one time Kohli's average was 55. In Test cricket. It's gone down now, probably just about 50 now. And he's the only batsman. He's averaging 50 in T20. He passed 50. He's averaging past 50 in ODIs as well.
ODIs, yeah. Well, he's 49. But Sibo, on the average, I mean, Stephen Smith is averaging 58. Cole is averaging 49.
Look, but check ODI. Check T20. What is Smith average?
Smith
in ODI 30-something. No, 40-something. In T20, maybe 30-something. So that's what I'm saying. Overall. Cole is the best batsman when you check it. Overall.
No. Well, I strongly disagree. A few years ago, he was not scoring any runs. Just a few years ago. And Smith, on the other hand, Steve Smith was racking up centuries after centuries. They couldn't get him out.
Well, I don't think anybody would leave their home to go and watch Steve Smith back. I can tell you that.
I agree with you.
Nobody would leave their home and go and watch Steve Smith back. I tell you that, man. I mean, Steve Smith. Mr. Menard, we have to close up now. Time has run out on us, so We hope you have a good time is 8 o'clock. So we hope you have a good weekend. It's your carnival time and enjoy yourself.
Well, I gonna go watch some good cricket tonight.
Yeah, well, yeah, myself too. I'll be watching it. In fact, the latest score now is let me see. It was 7. It's 245 for 7. They have an overall lead of 289. Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Menard. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, yeah, right. And all the best, yeah, and take care.
Well, guys,
all right, thank you.
We've come to the end.
We take one more call. There's
one. Okay, let's take one call quickly. Good night.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey, Steve.
Yes.
I call him from Salisbury, and you see that Menard fella. He have a lot of not because he's somebody in Australia. He know where coal is the best. He knows it. But just because of support him, he have a lot of faith. Not because he's supporting that team. Say the truth, talk the truth. It's like saying he's just a favor for Australia. He's a bad fella.
Okay, thank you. We have to close up. Thank you. Runner? Yeah.
You cannot argue cricket with Lockhart Sebastian. Lockhart Sebastian is a connoisseur. The man has played at the highest level, West Indies selector, coach at the highest level. You can only discuss cricket with Lockhart Sebastian, but you cannot argue cricket with Lockhart Sebastian.
You remember that year we saw him play in Barbados when we went to see him? And remember when we spoke to him at lunch, but then the first ball after lunch, he hooked. Come on, it was for 6 of the back foot. Oh my goodness, I can never forget that day. I didn't remember that.
It was bird and mash. In fact, I remember
hooked him on the Kensington.
Yes, I remember giving them talk back.
He just rocked back on one foot on the back foot.
Hit him for forwards and it's like straight over
yes,
and I remember Marshall coming and Gordon Bridge, and I was stumped in there, but that's what it's like. Or you lose it today. We have to just score something, remember?
Yes.
And it went, Steve Mahon got injured because we were going well. And I told this guy, there's a stadium, and Malcolm tried bowling, running up the ball, Bird, all of them. And I remember watching Gordon Green at first. I said, well, are you dead today?
I remember when asking, how you feeling? I remember you asking that very clearly, saying, man, I'm feeling good. Feeling good. And after lunch, man, the guy just went to work.
But it was Bird.
It was, yes, that was an exciting time.
We hope you have a good New Year, boss. I mean, this weekend, I know you're going to have fun. It's New Year's Day in Jersey. So have a good time, my brother.
Well, Sibo, most important for me is to stay healthy, gentlemen. That's very important.
I agree with you.
That's the most important thing we have, is to stay healthy. Stay safe. That's important.
Well, you're right. Be safe, because a lot of people...
Sibo, life goes on, you know. It's just another day.
I agree. So, guys...
Yes, good night. Yes, and then we certainly encourage everyone to come out tomorrow and support the event, the 5K race Saturday.
Yeah,
5K race. Great opportunity to come out and exercise and have some fun.
Yes, good night, everybody. Happy New Year to all. As Lobby said, be safe, enjoy yourself, and no problem. People enjoy yourself in peace without any problem. Happy New Year to everybody.